The Padma River is a major river in Bangladesh that originates from the confluence of the Ganges and Jamuna rivers in India. It flows southeast for about 356 kilometers, 221 miles, until it joins the Meghna River near the Bay of Bengal. The Padma River is an important source of water for irrigation, transportation, and fishing in Bangladesh. But it also poses many challenges for the people living along its banks. One of the challenges is that the Padma River is constantly changing its course, shape, and size due to erosion and sedimentation. The river has a high sinuosity, meaning that it curves and bends in an S shape across its plain. This causes the river to wear away the outer edges of its banks, while depositing sediment on the inner edges. Sometimes, the river cuts through a narrow neck of land and creates a new channel, leaving behind an abandoned loop called an oxbow lake. The river also has a braided pattern, meaning that it splits into multiple channels that rejoin again. This happens when there is too much sediment in the water, which forms islands and bars that divert the flow. The Padma River has been eroding and shifting its banks for centuries. But the rate and magnitude of these changes have increased in recent decades due to human activities and climate change. Some of the factors that contribute to this are deforestation, which reduces the vegetation that stabilizes the soil, dam construction, which alters the flow and sediment load of the river, sand mining, which removes the natural buffer against erosion, and sea level rise, which increases the tidal influence and salinity of the river. According to satellite imagery, the Padma River has lost more than 66,000 hectares, 256 square miles, of land to erosion since 1967. This has displaced thousands of people and destroyed their homes, farms, and infrastructure. The Padma River is also dangerous because it is prone to flooding during the monsoon season, when it receives heavy rainfall and snowmelt from the Himalayas. The floods can inundate large areas of land, damage crops, spread diseases, and cause fatalities. The people living along the Padma River have adapted to these challenges by building houses on stilts, using boats for transportation, cultivating flood-resistant crops, and relocating when necessary. However, these coping strategies are not enough to overcome the long-term impacts of erosion and flooding on their livelihoods and well-being. The Padma River is a vital lifeline for Bangladesh, but it also poses significant risks for its people. The river needs to be managed sustainably and equitably to balance its benefits and costs. This requires cooperation among different stakeholders, such as governments, communities, NGOs, and researchers. Some of the possible solutions include restoring the natural vegetation along the banks, regulating the dam operations and sand mining activities, building embankments and spurs to protect the shorelines, enhancing the early warning and disaster response systems, and providing alternative livelihoods and resettlement options for the affected people.